Meow, 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 meow. Shut up!
How you got the show all by yourself?
Welcome to the movie review extravaganza.
What?
Ganza,
What'd you say?
Ganza! You heard me.
Barely.
I said asshole. 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 You hear me, shit. You hear me, goddamn. How's everybody going? This thing gonna stay on for a little while. What's up?
I caught a glimpse of what you got going on. Oh no.
What's going on?
Nothing.
What's happening?
Nothing.
What's happening?
Nothing. I knew it.
My God! What has happened to me? Oh well, now the force be with you.
Is your undoing.
What are you doing there, 3PO?
I have to let you know that this video has been approved and sponsored by AMC Shudder. Shudder.com. That's that horror streaming channel, Corey, right? That's the one that you actually at one time called the Netflix of horror. In addition to horror, take a look at that right there. Take Shelter. That's a science fiction film. They got a whole lot of variety right here. I'm going to this other page where they even have action, martial arts action. You know, one of my favorite movies, horror movies, is Creepshow. And Shudder has actually done an anthology TV show, our streaming show, based on Creepshow. Listen, you can watch this on your iPhone, iPad. I watched all the Creepshow on my iPad. Apple TV, Xbox One, Amazon Fire TV, Google Chromecast, Roku, Android devices. I'm sure you can afford $5.99 a month for a channel that I'm sure you will enjoy very much. How about $56.99 per year? That saves you a little money, huh? Okay, all right. How about if I give you Shudder 30 days for free? That's right, you don't have to pay anything for almost a whole month. Here's what you do to get it. Go to shudder.com. I don't want you saying you typed in the wrong thing, so let me spell it out for you. That's SHUDDER.com. And when you get there, type in the promo code Double Toasted. That's all one word, Double Toasted. Type that in, and they'll take care of you. They get it to you 30 days for free. You don't have to pay anything. And I just want to let you know that this video, again, has been sponsored and approved by AMC Shudder. And I thank you for your support. Now on to the review. I want to surprise Martin tonight. If you're just getting here, Martin came in, and people last night, we took a vote on which character from Star Wars you wanted to see us dress as, do cosplay for. For some reason, everybody said cats, as in the movie. They didn't even have it. I didn't even put that in the poll. They just shoved it in there. They hacked it just to make us dress like a goddamn feline, funky ass feline.
Hey, it worked.
There's a lot of things out there that could compete with Star Wars. It's not like back in the day when Star Wars was the only big sci-fi fantasy property out there and there was nothing like it. No, there's a lot of things like it out there. I mean, if you ask me, I'm sorry, you know, I get Marvel checks to say this. You know, people say Avengers in Marvel right now is what Star Wars used to be.
Sure.
Even Harry Potter is what Star Wars used to be.
Yeah, you can't be on top all the time, especially if you take 10 years off.
Yeah. If all else fails to impress you with Star Wars, bring out that old saga right there. And that's what we have here with Rise, Star Wars, Rise of the Skywalker. You know, this right here is, what's so special about this one is that this is the last chapter in the Skywalker saga. The one that's began with Luke, and some people say is even kind of ending with Luke in a way. His legacy is still felt. Of course, this time we have other people, other characters, and of course we have a new Jedi out there, Rey. This has gone through a lot of turmoil. A lot of people have not been satisfied, as you would expect from a Star Wars movie. People just can't agree on anything unless, you know, it's that old shit out there, which people, let's just face it, those days are gone. They ain't never happening again.
Hey, man, they're never gone as long as somebody's willing to bring them back.
And that is J.J. Abrams.
That's J.J. Abrams.
And believe me, he's willing to bring it back to the point where he just copies the shit. But some people say, hey, look, you know what? Force Awakens, he had to do that. People were a little nervous. He had to do that. Rian Johnson, well, he fucked that all up, didn't he? But some people say, no, man, that's my favorite one. Last Jedi. But they brought J.J. Abrams back, and now they're saying, you know what? I know it's the last one, but before we leave, this man is going to set it all straight.
Mm-hmm. And he will give everyone what they said they want.
Oh, he did. Is that to a fault? Or is he giving everybody what they wanted through original ideas, new things, new places? I mean, this is a galaxy after all.
That's right. A galaxy is huge.
Yeah.
It's not just a city, town, or state. It's not even just a planet.
Shit, so far, Star Wars has been like high school.
Yeah.
we keep seeing the same people in the hallway.
Uh-huh. Yeah, there's that one malt shop that everybody goes
yeah.
to.
Jeez, I had a class with that alien right there. You know, everybody keeps seeing the same. You know, Jabba, you here too?
Yeah, for a galaxy far, far away, it feels like a small town.
But let's see if all that has changed. Let's go ahead and get into our review for Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker.
Taking one last look, sir, at my friends.
Buckley, you him.
Yeah.
Good riddance.
Does he not know that nobody likes him?
I like the way, like, we're not your friends. Wait a minute.
The Force will be with you.
Martin,
Yeah.
best word I can use for this now?
Uh-huh.
Frustrated. I'm so goddamn tired and frustrated. I'm tired, Martin.
Why are you frustrated, Corey?
I'm tired, Martin. I'm tired and I'm frustrated. Martin, I don't want to like Star Wars. I want to love Star Wars, Martin. I want to make sweet, passionate, nasty-ass love to Star Wars. Star Wars is part of my... Look, I'm that original generation of Star Wars. I mean, I wasn't some old, goddamn high school or college-ass nerd when that came out. Star Wars is my DNA, Martin.
How old were you when you saw Star Wars, the first
I was
one?
6.
6.
6 years old when I saw Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And it blew my mind. Even at 6 years old, I knew that Star Wars was something I had, like no one had ever seen before.
Do you want to get back together with an old girlfriend from that long ago?
Yes, a lot. yeah, I think about it all the time.
Yeah, you don't.
And listen, don't. Now, what you trying to pull on me is like, oh, you can't get over that nostalgia. No, this ain't about nostalgia, Martin.
Really? Because I feel like this franchise is about nothing but nostalgia.
It is.
You know what? I misspoke. It's not so much that this franchise is about nothing but nostalgia, but J.J. Abrams is about nothing but nostalgia.
Thank you.
He is living nostalgia. That's all he knows.
Thank you. So you weren't talking about me wanting to
No.
go back with an old girlfriend. You talking about him.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm so glad we can start this understanding each other.
Because man, they nailed him on that episode of South Park, but it's so obvious and true that it's comical, except not comical. It's sad.
They hired J.J. Abrams when they weren't safe.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I don't know J.J. Abrams. A long time ago, I said this man's going to be the next Spielberg because the man is, as far as I'm concerned, he understands that era more than anybody else and knows how to bring it into the new age. I know he's going to copy and paste the shit.
Yes. He's the new Spielberg in as much as he's the only one who's copying the old Spielberg note for note.
Shit, the mother.
Stroke for stroke.
Hey, as far as he's the old George Lucas.
Yeah.
He's doing, listen, people, I want to love Star Wars because right now y'all going to sit up here, it's a cult and y'all going to tack to preserve whatever it is you love. I'm not trying to hate on this. I'm not trying to criticize just because I'm going against the grain, and neither is this man over here.
Not at all.
And don't you dare say otherwise.
Not at all.
Don't you, because that's what you want to say. Well, it's not for you. F you. Star Wars is for me. It's for everybody. Don't you tell me it's not for me.
I think they might be right, Corey. It's not for you.
I'm about to let them have it, but I want some. I would like to kind of hold on for a little bit longer. I would like another helping, please. But the thing with Star Wars today is that, Star Wars has its moments, man. I've been griping a little bit about a certain show out there, but I appreciate what they're doing with it. Mandalorian is still something that's way more interesting than what they're doing with these movies, man. People laugh right now. Boy, I'd love to see you angry dressed like a cat.
It does kind of weaken your credibility.
It's almost like I'm going to be like... My problem with this is that it's frustrating because they are caught between trying to do too much while doing too little at the same time. Yeah. This story feels thrown together, absolutely thrown together. And the reason why is because they are trying to cram way too much material into one last movie.
Yeah.
It's so much stuff they're trying to put in here.
And this could have been told in a way in one movie and aired out, been developed, get it all. But there was a checklist. J.J. Abrams had a checklist.
Yes.
He went through all the other movies, especially Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Because his thing is, I'm not going to just remake that other movie that you've seen already right before he totally remakes that other movie you've seen already. But he goes through a checklist of, these are the things to me that are Star Wars, and they must all be in here. So I don't care what's in the suitcase already. I got to make sure I get this in there and get this in there and get this in there. Man, it's 12 more things. They're not going to fit. Oh, they're going to fit. You don't worry about that. I'll get them in there.
Yeah. It's like, damn, slow down, man.
Well, some of our new ideas are kind of falling out. Yeah, we got to take some of those out now.
Yeah. It's just like you tried to put 2 movies, maybe some others, into one last film. And I know why you did it. But, let's just say one of the problems of trying to stuff too much into one last movie, which is supposed to end now, the problem, at least from my perspective, is that there's certain things that you introduce that just need more time to develop. At this point, some of these characters, we should have been talking about them. These characters they're introducing now, they're like people who came to the party way too late.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm glad to meet you, man. We're kicking people out now.
I know. I mean, you can stick around because there's still some hors d'oeuvres left.
Yeah.
Grab a beer, but we are shutting everything down in 45 minutes.
We're going to bed in 45. We're going to bed in about 30 minutes. So, get your shit and go.
Make a plate.
I can understand if some of the new characters that they introduce were just side characters, like not supporting characters, side characters. Maybe like pilots, like Nino or whatever his name was. That dude.
Yeah.
Something like that. If you introduce new characters like that, that's fine. Those are fun. But they're introducing new characters that we're supposed to bond with. We're supposed to actually make these characters feel like they always have been a part of this crew.
You know what else? These new characters they introduced, they are potentially more interesting than the ones we've been following.
See, I wasn't going to hit them that hard, but you got a point.
I mean,
no, you got a point. They know that in addition to these characters that we have right here, to get them caught up, like I'm talking about our regular characters, Poe, Rey, Finn, we even got BB-8 and C-3PO, but like the main trio, the squad, if you will,
yeah.
They know that they don't have a whole lot of time to actually have them bond with these characters. So bonding is like speed dating.
Yeah.
They actually have, I'm not even lying, am I lying? They have one conversation with these characters. You like that? I like that too. We should fight together.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow. Best friends. No, man, a conversation doesn't mean development.
Mm-hmm. Talk shit, but I don't hate this movie.
I don't hate it, but I'm disappointed. And I know y'all sitting right now, y'all throwing all kind of boomers. Y'all throwing all kind of assholes, old mans. You dress like a cat. What do you know? I know. And Martin said he don't hate it, but you know what? I ain't done capping on this shit. I ain't done talking about it because there's a lot of things they still don't know. When you're trying to balance between the new character, I'm talking about new for this saga.
Yeah, right.
Rey, Poe, Finn, and trying to balance these new extra people that we ain't even got time for. That leaves all the old crew who we've been hanging with since New Hope, that leaves them with little to do. They still don't know what to do with Princess Leia. They have momentous plot lines with them. They have these huge arcs. They have these big resolutions for them. And they just happen like nothing because they didn't have time for us to spend with them. Now, it could be that Carrie Fisher's gone, you know.
I mean, she's in it a lot more than I would have expected.
But, you know, her conclusion was very disappointing. Very, very, very anticlimactic, man. You know, these old people that we have coming in, you know, I would love to see, because there is some heartwarming, very touching scenes with some of these characters. Led is actually a very emotional a staple of this series right here, this new series right here. Lando came in. Shit. Let me tell y'all something. I like it. Lando came in ready to.
Yeah, he did.
Lando, I had to laugh at Lando. Lando stuck to his character. Lando gonna be Lando, horny. Lando
so
came.
What's going on with you?
Yeah, Lando came in, and he even asked Ray like, "Hey, what Leia up to?"
He totally did.
Yeah, I heard Han dead. You know, that sucks. So she seeing somebody? You know, and even later in the movie, he's trying to hit up on some young thing. He in my line, he actually said,
no.
"Hey, girl, what's up with you?" She looked at him like, it was, man, it was some space pimp shit.
Yeah, it was.
I have to say, I really liked him, man, and I don't blame him because he looked good.
Yeah.
In the movie, you know, he's 80 years old. I thought he was gonna come in and be talking like the Emperor. Hello, kids, how are you? No, my man came in smooth as. Hey, what's up, kids? What's up, motherfuckers? What's that bitch Leia doing? I bet she's mad she missed out on this shit now. Well, man, I have to tell you, he's not in the movie long, so don't be, you know, that's another thing. See, that's something that you're probably gonna think about here. Wow, I can't wait to get the old crew back. They're really not in the movie that long. No. So and I'm not saying that's bad. Lando came in, did what he had to do. I'm fine with that. The reason why this really doesn't work as being a third movie where they try to cram too much stuff into is that there are some things, ideas that I know that they either were thinking of and weren't able to do, or maybe they just thought of it, but they should have been done at least in the last movie. Bringing Emperor Palpatine in is a big problem. For one, yeah, they explain how he comes back, but it's a throwaway line. It's one of those things where, well, we don't have time to really explain, so we'll just have somebody say it real quick. There's not enough, they didn't really go into it enough to explain enough of what he's doing, because what he's doing has an influence on all the major characters in the movie.
Yes. However, that didn't bother me in as much as this franchise, this series has already proven when you have Darth Maul come back in Solo. After we saw him cut in half, and everybody's like, oh, well, in this other thing, this other TV show or book, they explained all this. It's like, oh, well, I'm watching this, and y'all just, you know, kill characters and bring them back. And we see that a lot going through here. Through Jedi magic, are you dead? Are you not?
Well, the difference is, and I don't like it, man, because Emperor Palpatine is just brought back. Now, I don't know, maybe there's a comic out there, something where they did it. Something like Darth Maul, they actually, I don't think it was cool. First of all, I don't think it was cool the way they forced that in Solo. No. And I don't think it's cool the way they forced characters in this. No pun intended. But at least in the, like some of the shows, they try to explain a backstory. And they know the fans that are keeping up with the movies are keeping up with things like Clone Wars and things that in some comics. And so at least they try to give some backstory. This is just rushed, man. And I really don't like it, man. I really don't like the way they just stuff stuff in here just because, well, I had some ideas I didn't get to do.
I don't hate it because the movie is so designed not to be hated. I mean, it's J.J. Abrams is Mr. Safe. It's almost Rian Johnson came in and did some things. Like, you know, a lot of it is because it seems like Star Wars can't escape what happened before and the fan service. But Rian Johnson did do some interesting things. Some of it worked really well. Some of it was abysmal failures. And for his troubles, the movie, from some people, it's their favorite. Yeah. And for other people, he was slagged.
Crucified.
To have even J.J. Abrams come in and talk shit about him saying, don't worry, y'all, I'm going to fix this.
He sure did.
Yeah. It's like, wow, you just threw me under the bus like that.
J.J. Abrams might as well just stood over his head, spread his ass cheeks, and shit on the top of his head.
Considering that this is the fan base you're dealing with, it seems like it was almost, I mean, well, J.J. Abrams, it was probably his own sensibilities. But anybody else I go like, they're probably just scared. They're like, listen, these are things I got to stick to. Yeah. This is what they want. And I feel for that kind of Star Wars fan who wants certain things, who hated The Last Jedi, this is giving them everything they asked for. was gonna say we go to a different world, but we don't, because everything within here it's gonna be either they got desert environments, they got snow environments,
The same
and they got
shit.
jungle. That's the same shit
Same
over and over.
shit.
Yeah.
Listen, man. I've given up on that give the fans what they want bullshit a long time ago, because giving the fans what they want keeps us going through this same cycle.
I know.
And it can be avoided.
Yeah.
It can definitely be avoided. Man, I'm not saying this from the place of being a broken fan or an entitled fan. I'm not saying that. I judge movies today on how, and listen, I don't even begrudge them for being successful. There's a lot of movies that aren't written well, directed well, done well, and they do well. And after I'm done reviewing them, I'm like, bullet for you. Good. But while I'm sitting up here talking about it, I judge a movie based on its writing, on its direction, art direction, and in this, the writing is terrible. The writing is awful in some parts.
Yeah. The when they try to have them banter, it doesn't work at all.
At least it's cute. Like it's never terrible, but it's cute. It's that kind of dialogue like, we're gonna make it, we're gonna make it, we're not gonna make it. That kind of, it's very jokey dialogue.
It's the kind of jokey dialogue that you will excuse when you've been with some characters and you formed a bond with them.
Exactly.
And then you just kind of like it. You're like, oh, it's just them being playful with each other. But we've never had that. John Boyega, not him himself, but Finn, the character Finn is useless in these movies. He could just as well not be there. His only goal is to be there, to be thirsty for Rey, while they throw other potential love interests at him, and all he can think about is Rey.
Yeah.
And she could not give two shits about him.
Like,
she forgets that he's there.
She's like, I'm not into black dudes.
Yeah.
I'm not f***ing that black motherfucker, all right? I mean, I'm trying not to be racist when I... Tell him to get with the Asian chick.
Yeah.
She likes him.
All right, look, they added a black girl. Let her,
Yeah, let her her, shit. It's like, we got two of the same animal here. Let them breed. Listen, the writing in this is horrible. Listen, it gets worse when J.J. Abrams just totally ignores. When he just totally ignores Last Jedi.
Yeah, because, say what you will about Last Jedi, one of the interesting things it set up was Kylo Ren trying to form that partnership with Rey, where he was like, man, all these people with these Jedi and Sith, fuck all that. Let's just get rid of all that and we start something new. Yeah. That was a really interesting concept for this whole series. And it's abandoned.
With The Last Jedi, he totally ignores a lot of things from that movie. And you know what? I'm not a big fan of this movie either. Actually, I don't like it. There's a lot of things that they do that I hate from other Star Wars movies that they recreate in this film. But I will have to agree with you. Last Jedi tries to at least do something different. It tries to introduce some different elements, new storylines, concepts. Mm-hmm. Not all of them work. I really don't think this is a well-directed Star Wars movie, but at least he tried to do something new. I can understand if people want to forget about that, but you can't come in and just completely shut the shit down.
Right.
You're talking about John Boyega, who's, of course, useless to the point where they don't even know how to use him in this latest movie. They ignore certain things like we were talking about. His relationship with Rose.
Yeah.
When Rose kisses him. I like the way, you ain't white. And when I looked at it again, I was like, okay, he really wasn't into it. But in this movie, they don't even acknowledge it.
No.
They don't even acknowledge it. He just comes and they have a conversation. He pats her on the back. Yeah, good job. Thank you. I was like, all right, was it just that awkward that you couldn't say nothing and follow it back up? Were y'all ever, did you hit it and just didn't say nothing about it anymore?
Yeah, I mean, y'all bullied her on Twitter for nothing. She's barely in this movie.
Y'all knocked her out. Look, that's what y'all did to her. I can't take no more. They're making Star Wars out of obligation instead of inspiration.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it.
J.J. Abrams is who you call when you need a yes man.
Yes, he's all about that.
I mean, I don't mean that in a bad way. I love J.J. Abrams.
I mean it in a bad way.
I respect J.J. Abrams and the work that he's done. J.J. Abrams has done some amazing things, and I'm not even trying to talk, I'm not trying to talk bad about the man with those, but this is a studio movie. And they brought in a guy who tried to do something different, and they saw how that just split people up. It didn't work out. They want a unanimous thing, here. They want great word of mouth. So they said, let's just go back to basics, just throw in all the same shit that people love about Star Wars, and let's get the guy that we know, a studio pro. Mm-hmm. Guy's gonna take the script. He's gonna take direction. He's gonna say he's gonna do what we say do. He ain't gonna give us no problems. Mm-hmm. He's an old pro.
Yeah,
He ain't no young buck coming in
he
here
won't
trying.
come in with his own ideas.
No, he'll come in. He'll come in with nothing. He'll come in being the most uncreative mother that we have ever worked with.
Yes, master.
And that's what's happening, man. This is a studio movie. They didn't have a clear vision from the start, which is why when we had Force Awakens, when we came in with Force Awakens was something where we all gave it, listen, it had kind of a balance. It brought in and introduced a whole lot of new ideas, brought in some old ones, and kind of meshed them together. And we said, you know what? Okay, now that you got your footing, let's see what you got here.
Let's see where we go from here.
And again, I hate to bring up the Marvel example, but everybody who wants to create something new and create a saga, a series of films, offshoots and spinoffs and whatnot, you got to have your idea. You got to have a vision. You have to be inspired. Kathleen Kennedy being ahead of this is not the Kevin Feige of the Star Wars universe. She is somebody that says we have Star Wars and people heard the news we have Star Wars. We got to get this shit out now.
Yeah.
Make a movie.
Well, I thought that when it was even announced that we're going to have a new Star Wars movie every year. It's like, what? Why? You don't. That means you're going to make one whether you have an idea or not.
Yeah, exactly, man. When you start doing it this way, that means you are stuck repeating the same tropes of Star Wars that we've seen. Now, hear me out, because you saw it. That means that we are stuck with shooting dumbass stormtroopers throughout the whole movie who are awful, shooting them while sneaking around an Imperial ship. More, okay, like you know what? All right, hey, but we didn't do a Death Star. We have just a bunch of ships that can destroy planets now. Just because it's a different shape don't mean shit.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I know galaxy far away, maybe physics are different, but the Death Star was the size of a moon.
Yeah,
that's why it had enough power to destroy a planet. Just some ships can do it now? No.
No, I'm not buying it at all. But it's the same thing. Just because you change the shape, hey, look, it's a triangle now. No, I mean nothing. It's a pyramid in space, not a ball. You man, I know what this is.
I took geometry.
Yeah, did it just blow up a planet? Get out of here, man. That's what you're stuck with. Repeating the same tropes that Star Wars is instead of giving us something new because you didn't have a clear vision, a guide, a blueprint of where you were going in the first place. Rey, Poe, and Finn. Yeah. They make actually a great team. You can see them in parts trying to get together, working with each other and doing things, but they're caught in the middle, and there's not enough for them to do.
Yeah, the whole idea of us getting introduced to a shady past that Poe had, if the movie really focused on these characters, that could come into play. Yeah,
it could. It could. Instead, they got nothing to do. Poor, you said when they say Finn ain't got nothing to do no more, if Finn got something to do, scream his ass off in every scene.
Finn, we're about to be cooked. We're almost there.
Shit, I'm right here, man. Throughout the whole movie, he yells so much. He's like the new Jimon Hansu. No! They got him! They got him, man! They took him! They got him! You remember? No! Don't fall for that trailer. Don't think like we having a heartbreaking moment with your boy.
What are you doing there, 3PO?
Taking one last look, sir. At my friends.
He's still a comedian. That shit ain't got. Don't think you're gonna be crying for him.
No.
Y'all don't even like this dude anyway.
Yeah, nobody likes him.
Nobody. Half y'all said good. Be funny if they were just walking away as he's saying.
Yeah, I know.
That's good, man. Cut him off. Shut him down. No, they play that. No, he's still doing his stand up at the whole. He's still doing his shtick. I tell you, man, this made me do something that I never thought I would say. I never thought I'd say this. This actually made me feel a whole lot better. It actually made me respect to a certain degree.
Don't say it. Don't you say it.
Okay, I won't say it. They'll say it.
Oh my God.
Flying Jew stereotypes and everything. Goddamn Negro aliens shucking and jiving. I hate to say it, but I'll have a nice tall glass of midichlorians after this. I hate this series and I hate these characters. Don't get me wrong. I still hate it. I respect that at least George Lucas tried, man. At least there was that. And it goes to show you how daunting a task it is to try to go in and he can't even recreate this. Adam Driver, as I said, is one of my favorite actors out there, which is why it pains me seeing something like this. You know, everybody's talking about his performances out there, especially in Marriage Story right now. Yeah, people even, that is a good movie. It's a good movie. He can't even stand to hear himself in that, where he'll get up and walk out of interviews. Show him a clip of Star Wars, that motherfucker's gonna run. It's a character where he doesn't get to do a whole lot in this series. I'm not saying he's bad. He just has really nothing to do. I've seen Adam Driver in better things where I know how great this actor is.
Yeah. He's sort of like not given direction in how to make the character more, because he's got, I want to say he's got an interesting story, but it's not developed well. Like the idea that the son of Princess Leia and Han Solo has gone so far to the dark side, I feel like that's a movie in itself.
Yeah, I agree with you, man.
And it's just kind of mentioned in a little bit of a flashback, but I'm like, there's got to be more to this story than what you just told me.
He has an arc in this. Even that, I think, is a little rushed and unsatisfying and false. It's, you know, what makes me not hate the film. I'm not, and listen, whenever you criticize something, hate never had a factor in here at all.
Yeah.
Hate, you know.
I've seen movies I've hated, and I was just watching this. I'm like, it's not rising to the level to make me hate it.
Well, I don't even go into a movie, like, I don't judge movies by, am I gonna hate it? Am I mad? Am I triggered? I don't judge movies like, I don't ever go in expecting to feel like that. Like I said, I judge a movie based on what it's doing, and some things it does right. The movie is fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun. Like if you go to Galaxy's End at Disney World, but it's fun, or Disneyland, but it's fun. It moves well to be as long as it is. The action scenes are always well done. You know what I mean? Only thing I'd say bad about the action scenes is that the action scenes at times, they hit their point where it's like, okay, time for an action scene. But they are done well. And, you know, when you watch them, they do help speed the movie along. Okay, how long is it going to take for them to fuck that up? You know, I'm talking about the stormtroopers.
Oh, yeah.
They got jetpacks. You think they do a whole lot, but they don't know what to do with those.
Well, it does seem like everybody who's a stormtrooper was drafted. They're conscripted into the army and not given a whole lot of training.
No. They shit, they rush these stormtroopers out like they did this movie. His stormtroopers got jetpacks. They don't know a goddamn thing to do with it. You know what they do? They running this shit. They flying the rocks. They might as well be mosquitoes.
It's not easy.
Maybe they need to change the helmets, man.
Right. No, they just don't have good vision.
Yeah, I mean, I was
That's why they can't hit anything.
Shit, I was sitting up in Marsh should have seen me. I was sitting up here trying to move around. Damn, I hope this is worth it. I do like the artistry of a lot of things in this movie, man. There's one sequence in here where they are at a festival for the species. I thought that theme was brilliant, man.
It was.
That was probably the most.
It was too bad it was so short.
It was so short, and that was probably the most honest thing, or the most natural feeling thing in the movie. They go to this festival, and it's cool because they have their own customs, they have their own clothing, you know, their own culture. They showed how the different stages. The young ones look very much different from the older ones.
Yeah.
Like the kids look very different from the adults. You could tell that that's what they would grow into. It's a brilliant piece of art direction in the movie, what they do right there. And there are small parts of that, probably in a couple other parts of the movie, but barely, not like they did right here. You know, I had to get all the frustrating things out of the way to say about this, because everybody's been talking about all of these problems with Star Wars for the longest time. Now, they're talking about bringing Jeff Feige in to...
Kevin Feige.
I mean, I'm sorry, Kevin Feige. Where the hell did I get Jeff Feige from? That
know.
must be his cousin or something.
His cousin from Arkansas.
Yeah.
What I think you should do with Star Wars.
I know. What I think, more titties. Okay, Jeff, thank you. Sorry. Nah, man. They're bringing in Kevin Feige, and hopefully that will actually give this some coherence instead of this feeling like they're just bringing ideas out of nowhere and trying to force them to work together. And that's why I say Star Wars has plenty of brilliant ideas, and Martin just said it. Comic books, books. I'm reading a Star Wars horror novel right now. Yeah, like a zombie novel. Yeah, and you see them everywhere. I mean, we just saw it, man. I think one of the best things that is out there that is not accessible to a lot of people who might have been into Star Wars, they're doing it in the video games. Yeah, your for 1,000 years. Nah, man, that's Jedi Fallen Order. That's a Fallen Order. That's a video game. And the story, from what I've seen so far, I'm not finished with the game yet, but it's brilliant, man. Yeah. This is where we need to start going now. Look,
I mean, maybe now that this is out of the way, it can.
I was going to say, this is done.
Yeah.
We don't need to like be that safe anymore. I get it. It's a corporate product, but we don't have to be this safe anymore. Let's start stake. I'd be satisfied if they never mention Skywalker again. And we move on to something different here. That is why I feel justified in criticizing this like I have. I'm not doing it to be different. I'm not doing it because it's cool to trash Star Wars. Like I said, I want to love Star Wars. But this does not feel genuine. And it's not a well-made film as outside of the effects. I read and this is how I know people are cultish with this. People they don't even want to hear, they can't force their brains to even say that it's flawed. These people are talking about, I think I liked it, but if there was just something a little off, I think I need to see it again.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
Just say it's flawed. You don't have to go see shit again.
Something a little off.
Something a little, yeah, you. You don't have to go see anything again. Say that it's flawed, man. Just admit it. And I can't speak for everybody. If you like it, you like it. And that's great. And it's going to make tons of money. And I have nothing to say about that if it makes you happy. That's perfectly fine. From my perspective, with somebody who has a platform to say what I feel about it, and here it is. It's a high rental.
I mean, if you think about all of Star Wars, at least the movies, what is it, 11 movies now? Is it 10?
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
6 and 8, maybe it's 9. I don't know. But you really only have 3 that have any kind of edge to them. The first 2, and then Rogue One.
Yeah, yeah.
And chronologically, they're all still right within the same area, and every move to try to progress it further has not really, it hasn't been lived in.
Yeah.
That's why these other properties that aren't under the studio eye are able to flourish and give us something new. With the Jedi powers, they seem to be inconsistent. Like 1 minute you can do this, but the next you're struggling to do that.
They sure are, man.
And a lot of bad things happen just because Rey won't stop to tell people what's going on with her.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens over and over.
Even Princess Leia was like, what the f is wrong with you?
Yeah. I mean, whatever you got going on, let us know so we can act accordingly instead of you just walking off into space.
Yeah.
But I say all that to let you know where I am with Star Wars, where I lost having that expectation of it being something higher than what it is. I've made peace with it. This is what it is. It's an action adventure space franchise. It's even when it initially began, nobody saw it being more than that. And for a time it was, but actually it's kind of come back to what it was. It's a shared experience more than it is a movie that you go to for getting, for higher art. It's not as entertaining as it could be, but for the people who love it, it will give them what they want. And I respect that on some level. I mean, it's there to do a job, and more often than not, it doesn't. So I would see it more as a low matinee.
Yeah, you better than me, man, because I don't go with expectations either. I don't go with expectations for anything. F it. I don't give excuses for anything anymore. Do your job. That's what you do. Just do your job, man. Stop catering to people. Stop saying, well, I'm going to give the people what they want. Or, well, what did you expect? I expect a good movie from an epic series. Do your job. God damn. All the fans, quit eating up everything. This is why we can't progress. Because you eat up everything. You can't force yourself to say, yeah, well, maybe there's something wrong here. God damn.
Yeah, no, you got to be honest about it. Plus, it's the last one.
Yeah.
That's ultimately, I thought, you know what? This closes out this whole Skywalker chapter. Now there's no more excuses to not go forward.
That's the biggest thing that I'm so relieved with here. Thank you, Mark. Can we move forward now? Can we have closure?
Yeah, I mean, this movie's it is, it might not be everything you want, but it is all closure. Everybody gets to come back and have a good time, and it's a cast party. And
yeah.